So let's talk about this. So I came across this interview with Tisha Campbell. Now, in the interview, Tisha Campbell said that her and Martin had basically put their differences aside, and they've moved on, they've healed, and that she will protect him until the day that she dies. And pretty much there's no need for people to dig and pry. People still have their comments. Of course, there's people who was in the comment section of that very video saying it's because Martin never did it, right? How do you protect someone that because of your own actions, a whole show got canceled? Because without the, supporting cast, the original supporting cast, it just couldn't go on. Well, now they could have replaced Tisha's character. I brought that up before about who would have been a good replacement when we talk about Lark Voorhees and other people, but bottom line, they decided, nah, let's just can it. All right, cool. They did what they did. See, my thing is not to try to figure out if Tisha Campbell was lying or not. I mean, whatever happened, they're good now, right? See, here's my thing, and this is for anybody, not just for Tisha Campbell. This is for anybody. If you, like example, Tisha Campbell, we can use her for example. The Martin that she was actually married to. She basically went on different shows and she talked about him and what he did and how he made her feel, and and she never, whether they're on good terms or not, or now, whatever, I don't know. It's not my concern personally, right? But I just find this weird. The fact that somebody you worked with, this wasn't no former lover or nothing, right? This was just somebody you did a show with. This was like a co-worker. Well, the father or the mother of your, children are still that. Now, yeah, you can have a relationship where it just goes to an end. Somebody can do you so greasy, so dirty that you're done with them. But at the same time, I've never heard her say like, look, whatever happened, we got past that, and we good. Maybe they're not good. But it's a weird feeling, because just think about this. The same way when this happened, you was already with this man, right? So when you're talking to this man about what Martin Lawrence did to you, what is his reaction, right? And in the end, regardless to whatever happened and how things went, you still end up, in the end, cool with that one person, right? It make me think about like real life situations where it's like when you see people break up, right? This what always gets me about relationships. And the reason I'm talking about this, even thinking about it, because the video I just did on Martin, one of the things he said in that interview was like, one of the things that people could relate to and why this show felt so special was the realism as far as how they did things, and like him and Tisha Campbell was all about black love, and you wasn't really seeing that too much, right? So I look at real life when it comes to black love. I'm like, yeah, think about this. How do you meet somebody new? Right? And I've always got turned off by this. Don't meet me and tell me about how your old boyfriend was this and that. I only need to know about him. Now, in terms of us getting to know each other, you telling me what you just coming off of, okay, I get that. But when it comes to one of these things where now we having another conversation, his name comes up again. We have another conversation, his name comes up again. I think there's still something there. You might be the person that gets screwed in that situation, because she might come back to you, and vice versa. If the guy doing it to the female might come back to you and tell you, I thought that I was over him, or I thought I was over her, but when we was together the other night, I realized the feelings were still there. Now they're doing to you what they claim the other person, that last person, did to them. But my thing is, why is it that that person is a scumbag, but then you let that person back in? So now, after coming and complaining to your your current, you're now secretly associating yourself with this guy again, or this woman again, right? And bottom line is, the person that you ran to, to lean on their shoulder, now you're putting the screws to them. I feel like people should just think about real life and think, look at your own relationship, right? Or why you're not in a relationship now. And if you can tie into anything like that, that's my thing. Martin and Tisha squashed that. They cool? Okay, cool. Like I said, I don't know the status between her and her, the other Martin that she was married to. But even because in that situation, you got kids, right? What happens when your kids go to school? I saw your mom on TV talking about your dad, and she said this and that, like whatever. Like, it's just a lot of things people don't really consider, right? And I don't think you should have to protect a liar. But see, my whole thing is, I rarely see people, like, ever. I don't ever really see nobody come on TV and talk good about the other half after, their significant other, after they've already came out and said something and crashed out about, like them as a person. And you look at Will Smith and Jada. Jada disrespects Will every chance she gets. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never a thing of, look, that's still the father of my sons and daughters and this and that. Just keep your business to yourself is what I'm saying. You don't have to pretend nothing. It's nobody's business. And this is what I'm saying. So I'm not here to do this video to talk about what I think about if Martin really did it. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it just amazes me how people, it's just like, take, you don't even have to be on TV. Just take, it could be a coworker. I've seen so many situations where somebody has either worked with a person or, was friends with somebody and claim that they got done dirty, claim that somebody did something real foul to them, right? And then all of a sudden, one day they're cool, right? Somebody else ain't do nothing to them. It's like a simple little, a childish misunderstanding, and it comes down to but this person said this about me, and this person did this and did that. You're like, wait a minute, man. You mean to tell me this person that you knew all this time, grew up with, y'all not speaking, but you talking to this motherfucker that you only known for the past year or two, ain't really did nothing but work with this motherfucker, right? And it is always one of those things. So, for me, I'm like this. You done laid down and had sex with each other. Y'all done made babies together. Y'all paid bills and do all that like that. Y'all had that. All I'm saying is, why is it always easy for people to come to the world and talk about their personal business? And if they do forgive that person, if they do, move on, they have an actual relationship where they're still cool, they don't make that known. And especially, if you're in a current relationship, you shouldn't be talking about any of that. For me, once I break up with a person, when I'm done, we're done. There is no, we cool, we still, fuck, I'm sitting telling my woman, it's my ex, we just, once we're done. And that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like when I like the thought of me trying to protect someone, right? I'm trying to protect someone that I don't have to, protect or make it known. Speak so boldly about it when the last I talked about, somebody that was in my life personally, it was just basically a bunch of, I'm hurting, I had to heal, I had to reach out, and then I had to take that time to, because I remember her being on the show one time, being interviewed, and she was talking about how people get bullied or pushed in situations like when somebody try to threaten your job through sex, or if you don't do what I want, or you want to keep this job, or that type of stuff. But I remember her talking and people applauding what she was saying and whatever in the audience, and her making new music and all of that type of stuff. And so for me, I just feel like all the healing that people always talk about doing, when you bring something to the world and say, I'm here to be the voice for people that went through the same thing, could be going through the same thing that I'm going through right now or went through, and don't be scared, reach out, get help, tell someone, and they do all of that. just to end up, now we buddies again. You understand what I'm saying? But somebody that you shared your bed with, you have no problem with saying whatever about them and put it out there, and then you just leave it like that. So I know not too long ago I saw Tisha Campbell get interviewed, and she said she's not dating, and she gave her reasons why she don't date. So for whatever, I don't care about their relationships and their personal, that's their thing. But yeah, I mean, for me, when I look at these celebrities, man, I take their situations and I look at everybody else's situations. Like I said, the only difference is them being, celebrities or whatever, and you not a celebrity, right? Same thing. We're human beings. We go through the same type of stuff. Wherever you work right now, because remember, let's keep it in mind, they were co-workers. You work somewhere right now. One of your co-workers could go and say you sexually harassed them. And all of a sudden, let's say you go home, like just say, let's put it like this, right? Male or the female, all right? But let's say your woman goes to work. She come back and tell you some dude at work sexually harassed her, and you there comforting your woman and everything, and you, hey, nah, did you say something? Yeah, I went and I wrote him up and I this and that. You there. You got her back, right? Now you want her to go through some shit, right? And remember, I don't know that what she said about him was true. I don't know that it was a lie. And she never said nothing about what she did. He never spoke about it at all. So we don't know what actually transpired. All we know is what she said, her version of the story. So I'm not like saying that her former husband did. I don't know what he did or didn't do. Maybe they had interviews that I didn't see because I don't be looking for it. But I don't know what he did. But I know that she definitely had several interviews. She spoke about him in the relationship and what he did to her and all of that. So imagine you got your wife back, all this, all of a sudden your wife and this guy end up being cool again. That's gonna hit you like, yo, what the fuck? Like the same person. But say y'all break up, and see, my thing, relationships is like I said, when I'm done, I'm done. It ain't no we done, but I'm still in touch with you. But even like if we got kids, all I need to know is what my kids need and what we're doing, and I'm spending time. But I don't mean you though, no. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, it's still your personal business. So I don't know why people are so comfortable when they want to try to expose and say things like, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of something. You see how Jada Pinkett always break down and cry when somebody bring up Tupac's name? Yet she's married to Will. She came out the other day. She spoke and said cheating on Will made her feel better. Now check this out, right? Have you ever heard Jada say anything about Pac? I can't even say negative. Let's just say, have you ever heard her say, Pac, like I told Pac, like, Pac, look, you need, like, look, focus on your career, Pac. You getting involved into too many things. Let's getting shot and all, like, y'all gotta, like, not that people to listen, but what I'm saying is, have you ever even heard her speak like that? Because it's crazy how now that Pac is dead, you got the Ice-T's of the world. You got everybody else everybody that say Pac should have had somebody slow him down. And, nah, my thing is this, right? If her bond with Pac was as strong as she say, she might have been the one person that could get Pac to maybe listen. And if not, at least the fact of, hey, and it's not to try to kick dirt on nobody, but it's like, do you applaud the wrong that people do, the unwise decisions that they make? You understand what I'm saying? Do you? And here's the thing. Let's say her and Pac would have dated and became a couple. Man, let me tell y'all something. That shit might have ended up in the worst of ways, and they could have ended up being the worst enemies. You understand what I'm saying? But for her to be in tears crying over another man, how should Will feel about that? And it's obvious they don't have a relationship. They're just together. But that's it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so for this woman to make it known that she kicked Will out the house and all this crazy stuff, it's like, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, why are people so comfortable with their personal business? Nobody cares about what happened. They just want something to talk about. So if you find yourself in a situation like that, man, that's something to really, like, I can't, man. It's something to really think about. Because people love to do this. They will forgive somebody who's done the worst to them, or they claim did the worst to them, and then all of a sudden they cool again. It's all hugs and smiles. But then they don't have even the tolerance, the patience, the understanding. They don't even have that. This is one of the reasons why it's hard for men and women to get along even right now, because people don't understand that this whole situation of trying to get their point across to each other. It's always like it has to be an argument. It can't be a cordial, conversation. It has to be something you're doing wrong. It got to be something like, I can't let that go. Like, example, right? In a relationship, you know damn well there's people who will leave work, and the whole time they're planning, oh, wait till I get home, I'm gonna curse his ass out, I'm gonna wait soon as I see this, right? And that's the approach. So it was never meant to be a conversation. From the very beginning, what was meant to be was, when I see you, I'm gonna curse and swear, start an argument, and then cry or whatever, and talk about, look at how he yelling at me, or look at what you doing, look, right? As if that's the reason why y'all arguing. Nah, you're arguing now because of the approach and all that, right? But yet you can find it in you to put up with other people. You can find it within you to, like, you'll come to this person, your approach would be far more kind. The person you supposed to love, nah, I can talk to you how I want. Since when? You go to work, yes sir, yes ma'am. Right away, sir. Yes sir, no sir. Right away, absolutely sir, right? But you come home to each other and it's different. And so this is what I'm saying, because even what Martin was talking about when he talked about they was representing black love, like I said, right? That was on a TV show, but in real life, that's where I'm looking at. Like, yeah, it just made me think when I heard him say that, and then I heard what Tisha said. It was just like, yeah. So yeah, this is not even about Martin or Tisha directly. It's about what they said and how it connects to, like, real life. But like, are you seeing it? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you actually seeing that? Every podcast, every YouTuber, all I ever see is angry women, angry men. All the conversation is all about why we don't like each other, why we can't get along with each other. None of this shit is about we're happy together. I love being with this person. This is my, this is my everything. It's always like the people on the streets are my best friends. The people that I grew up with, whoever, everybody outside of a man and a woman's relationship. It's even like when you have family and you do some shit, like you and your spouse, like you and your significant other got a place together, just say for example, right? And then all of a sudden, you start to bring in-laws in. Oh, my sister got a, she ain't gonna be here long. She just got she in a tight spot right now. This and this and that. I mean, I done seen that shit on every level, man. I can remember one of my homies, I even dealt with that shit. I went through that shit at one point. All of a sudden, the porno movies in my house, that shit ain't mine, right? And motherfuckers, everybody want to be quiet. Somebody got caught slipping, right? And then when the truth comes out, the damage is already done. That person then went on. You understand what I'm saying? But people don't come back and say, I want to apologize for the way I was acting. Nah, let's just act like it didn't happen and move on. But it's always inside. And when people treat you like that, you don't forget. It's going to put a wedge between y'all. That's the point what I'm saying. But you'll watch those same people talk about somebody every day, how this person ain't this, ain't that, whatever, but then you'll watch them hug and smile and they forgive each other and it's over. But they're not like that with you. This is what I'm saying. See, these are the types of things that people don't think about. It's like people are so caught up thinking about these celebrities and wondering this and wondering that, and I wish this, I wish that. Think about it. When you go through tough times in life, what do? Look for a good show to watch, some music to listen to, something to get your mind off it. So these people will come like a savior for you, in the sense of, every time I feel this way and that way, I go listen to this or I watch that. You're not in these people's lives. So case in point, if couples would learn to be more forgiving to each other and protective of each other, like her saying, and I know her and the other guy broke up, and I don't know their relationship and don't need to, but her saying, I will protect him until the day I die. The fact that she even took it there. I'm saying, think about Jada Pinkett crying, saying, me and Pac had the kind of love that only happens once in a lifetime. And I believe Jada did that shit on purpose to like she know how the hell else you think that's gonna make Will feel. I think she wanted Will to see that and like know it's gonna fuck with him. I think she liked torturing that guy. So if we learn anything from things that we see happen with other people, it should be to make sure we don't let that shit creep into our own lives. That's all I'm saying, man. There's no way you should be more tolerant to an outsider, a co-worker. I don't care if y'all grew up together. The person that you sit and make love to every night, the person you got kids with, the person that this is your business, this is your life, this is your legacy, and you're willing to expose that, but then make peace and make it known that you've made peace to everybody else. It's crazy, y'all. Just saying. Have that in your life for real. We don't need to pretend about black love on a TV show. Yeah, that's what they were showing on TV, but that's not what was happening in real life. So in real life, create that shit, embrace it, and cherish it. Because if you don't, nothing's going to change. It'll always be the same thing. That's all I got for y'all right now. Catch y'all on the next video.